Hello, welcome to my videos and my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about the NFL 2025 season, Week 11 scores. Yesterday finished or closed the Week 11 with the Monday Night Football, where the Dallas Cowboys didn't have any problem and defeated Las Vegas Raiders 13 to 16. For that reason, I'm recording this video where I'm going to talk about what happened in this week, the scores, the standings, and how is the NFL playoff picture until this moment. So let's start. Well, remember that this time there were only play 15 games because two teams had a bye week. These teams were the Indianapolis Colts and the New Orleans Saints. So let's start. The week started the last Thursday with a Thursday night football, where in a divisional game the New England Patriots didn't have any problem and defeated the New York Jets 27-14. About this game, the Patriots had an easy game. They should have won this game minimum by another touchdown because they dominate the game. They dominate the game, and in the end, they got the victory. With this victory, the Patriots won is a straight victory of the year. They reached the ninth victory of the season, and they are playing a tremendous football. And the Jets lost is a game of the season, and they are eliminated. And the Sunday started very early, where it was played the last international game of the season, where the Miami Dolphins defeated the Washington Commanders 16-13 in overtime, where this game was played in the Bernabeu Stadium in Madrid, Spain. Remember that this was the eighth last international game, where, to be honest, it wasn't a funny game. It was war, but the most important is that it was played in extra innings, where I think that the Commanders were a little better than the Dolphins. The Commander wasted a lot of opportunities to win this game, where the Commander had the opportunity to win this game in the fourth quarter, where they had the opportunity to score a field goal and won the game. The Commanders kicker missed it, and the Dolphins took advantage of that, and they won in the overtime because they intercepted the Marcus Mariota. After that, the Dolphins scored a field goal and they won the game. With this victory, the Miami Dolphins won its fourth game of the season. They have won three out of the last four games that they have played, and this is amazing. But I think that very difficult that they can enter to the playoff. And the Commanders lost is a game of the season, and they are eliminated. In another game, the Green Bay Packers traveled to the Big Apple and defeated the New York Giants 27-20. About this game was closer that you can see because the Giants play a tremendous game, but in the end, the Packers show why they are better team than the Giants. Remember that the Giants played his first game without his former head coach, his head coach, because remember that he was fired during the week, and the Giants' former offense coordinator took the job as a head coach. Also, Jason Daxter Jackson, or I don't know, the Giants starting quarterback didn't play because he entered to the concussion protocol. So for that reason, Jameis Winston played as a starting quarterback. He did a good job, but in the end, he couldn't lead the team to the victory. In the end, the Packers show why they are a better team, and they won this game 27-20. With this victory, the Packers returned to the victory, and they won its sixth game of the season, and the Giants lost its ninth game of the season. In another game, in a divisional game, the Houston Texans traveled to Tennessee, Tennessee, and defeated the Tennessee Titans 16-13. Remember that this was the second game that two teams played in the season, where in the week 3 or 4, the Texans didn't have any problem and defeated the Titans by 26 point difference, where they shoot down that game. So about this game was closer that I expected, because the Texans battle a lot and they won this game. And they won this game with a field goal in the last play of the game. With this victory, the Texans in this moment have a record of 500. In this moment, This is great for them because they won a back-to-back games without the CJ Stroud is starting quarterback because he's in the concussion protocol. And the Titans lost is ninth game of the season. In another divisional game, the Carolina Panthers defeated Atlanta Falcons 30-27 in overtime. Remember that these two teams, this was the second game played in the season between these two teams because in the week 4 or 5, the Panthers defeated and humiliated and shut down the Falcons 30-0. So this game was a tremendous game where the game was defined in the overtime where the Falcons for the overtime, but in the overtime the Panthers were better and they won the game with a field goal. With this victory, the Panthers have a record above 500. They have 6 victories and 5 losses. Nobody expected this great performance from them, and in this moment the Panthers are in the hunt to enter to the playoffs. This is amazing about the Falcons. I think the Falcons, in my opinion, are one of the deception of the season because I expected a little more about them. And also, the worst news is that is starting quarterback Michael Penix Jr. The most probably he's gonna to be out because he didn't finish the game, and the most probably he's gonna to be out because his injury is so serious, and for that reason, Kirk Cousins intended to play the game, and he didn't do much to help the team to get the victory. And in another divisional game, the Chicago Bears defeated the Minnesota Vikings 19-17. About this game, again, I think it was a funny game where the Vikings wasted the opportunity to win this game, and the Bears won the game in the end with a field goal. In the end, it wasn't a funny game, but the Bears could get the victory and the two revenge. That remember that in the week 1, the Vikings won that game. So in the end, the Bears won the game and they won is 7th game of the season. This is amazing. To be honest, they have 7 victories, but they are not playing a very good football. But in the end, they are in East Division, and the Vikings in this moment they lost is 6th game of the season and they are eliminated. In another game, I think that the surprise of the week, the Jaguars didn't have any problem and defeated the humiliated the Los Angeles Chargers 35-6. Before this game, I expected a closer game. I thought that the Chargers were going to win this game, but the game was going to be closer. But in the end, the Jaguars dominated the game from the beginning to the end, where the Chargers play a very bad football. To be honest, I didn't expect this bad performance, but the Jaguars took advantage to playing home and they won this game easily. With this victory, the Jaguars won its 6th game of the season, and the Chargers lost its 4th game of the season. In another game, I think that the best game of the week, the Buffalo Bills defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 44-32. This was a tremendous game, to be honest. It was very funny, and I thought that this game was going to be defined in overtime because two teams, especially the offensive unities, play a tremendous football. But I think that the big difference is that the game was very close because the Bucs scored a touchdown, later the Bills scored another touchdown. But the big difference is that in the last 4 minutes of the game, the Bills scored 2 touchdowns that created a little two touchdowns. It was impossible for the Bucs to follow that pace. And in the end, the Bills won the game. With this victory, the Bills returned to the victory and they won his 7th game of the season, and the Bucs lost his 4th game of the season. And in another game, my favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, didn't have a problem and defeated the Cincinnati Bengals 34-12. Remember that these two teams this was the second game of the week, where in the week 7 the Bengals did a surprise and defeated the Steelers 30-31. So this was a revenge for the Steelers, where, to be honest, the Steelers didn't have a problem and won this game easily. The problem is that the Steelers couldn't show its dominance in the first half, where they only leading the game by 4-point difference, 10-6. But in the second half, the Steelers outplayed and outscored the Bengals, where they scored 24 points in the second half, and they won this game easily. With this victory, the Steelers won its 6th game of the season, and the Bengals lost its 7th game of the season. The bad news for the Steelers is that the Aaron Rodgers, the starting quarterback, didn't play the second half because he injured his left wrist. and the most probably he's not going to play in the next game against the Chicago Bears. These are bad news. And in another game, in a divisional game, the 49ers didn't have any problem and defeated the Arizona Cardinals 41-22. Remember that this was the second game between these two teams in the season. Well, remember in the week 2 or 4, the 49ers defeated the Cardinals with a field goal, where in that game the Cardinals played better than the 49ers, but they couldn't get the victory. So about this game, the 49ers show why they are a better team than the Cardinals. They dominate this game from the beginning to the end, and they won this game easily. With this victory, the 49ers won his 7th game of the season, and the Cardinals lost his 7th game of the season. And in another game, in a tremendous game, the Los Angeles Rams defeated the Seattle Seahawks 21-19. This was a tremendous game, but I thought that this game was both teams were going to score more than 30 points each one. But what happened here is that the both defenses play a tremendous game, and this was a very great game. About this game, the Rams had the game under control. They were leading. They were leading by no, yeah, they were in the beginning of the game 21-12, and they have the game under control, but the Seahawks put emotion. They had the opportunity to win this game with a field goal, but the Seahawks kicker missed it as a 61 field goal. It was a potential winning, but the Seattle Seahawks will miss that field goal, and they lost that game. And so something to talk about is that the Seattle Seahawks starting quarterback Sam Arnold threw 4 interceptions, and he played a very bad football, and he was one of the reasons why the Seattle Seahawks lost this game. With this victory, the Rams won his big game of the season, and they are leading the NFC West, and the Seattle Seahawks lost his third game of the season. And in another game, in a divisional game, the Denver Broncos defeated the Kansas City Chiefs 22-19. This was a tremendous game. To be honest, I thought that the Chiefs were going to win this game because I didn't have a lot of confidence to the Broncos, especially the offense side. But they showed why in this moment they are the best team in the AFC. It was a very close game where in the end the Broncos won the game with a field goal, and they won his ninth game of the season. This is amazing because, how I told you, I didn't trust the Broncos because they were playing a very bad football before this game, but they showed that they can defeat the top teams. And about the Chiefs, in this moment they are in troubles because they have a record of 500. In this moment they are out of the playoff, and maybe Patrick Mahomes and company are in risks to be eliminated and don't enter to the playoff. This will be the deception of the season. And in another game, the Baltimore Ravens traveled to Cleveland and defeated the Cleveland Browns 23-16. This was a close game where the Browns play a great football, I'm not going to lie, but the Baltimore show why they are a better team. They are a better team than the Browns, and they won this game in the fourth quarter. In the halftime, the Browns were leading the game 16-10, but in the second half, the Ravens outplayed and outscored the Browns. Where in the second half, the Ravens scored 13 points. All of these points were scored in the last quarter. They shoot down the Browns in the second quarter, and for that reason, they won this game. With this victory, the Ravens, at this moment, they are a record of 500, and they won the series against the Browns. Well, remember in the week 2, the Ravens won that game easily, and the Browns lost his 8th game of the season, and they are eliminated. And the Sunday Night Football, in a tremendous game, the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Detroit Lions 69. About this game, this was a very close game, but I think that the Lions made a lot of mistakes, especially his head coach, Dan Campbell, where the Lions play. Wait a minute. They play 5 times in 4th down, and they didn't convert any of these 5 times, and he wasted a lot of opportunity because he played 2 times in the field goal in the red zone, and they missed it, and they missed the opportunity to minimum score 3 points. So in the end, I think that there were certain mistakes. The Eagles show why they are the reigning champion team and why they are a winner team. and they won this game. With this victory, the Eagles won the A game of the season, and they are leading the NFC. And the Lions lost is for game of the season. And the season closed with the Monday Night Football was yesterday. The Dallas Cowboys didn't have any problem and defeated the Las Vegas Raiders 13-16. To be honest, I don't know who decided to put the Raiders in prime time games, because remember that in the week 10 they opened it with the Thursday Night Football where they lost against the Denver Broncos. It was a very poor game, and and yesterday it was the same game where the Cowboys dominate this game. The Raiders play a very awful and bad game, and the Cowboys didn't have any problem and won this game easily. With this victory, the Cowboys won is 4th game of the season, and the Raiders lost is 8th game of the season. So, who are the standings? In this moment, wait a minute, because I can see. In this moment, in the AFC, in the AFC is the Patriots are leading the division with a 9-2 record. They have a winning streak. They have a 2-game advantage against the Bills, 7-3. And the Dolphins are in the 3rd place with a 4-7 record, a back-to-back victories. But they are eliminated, and the Jets are in the bottom. In the AFC North, it's very interesting because the Steelers are leading the division with a 6-4 record. But the problem is that the Ravens have a record of 500. They have a 4-winning streak, and in this moment they are away a game below the Steelers. The worst news for the Steelers is that they have to play 2 games against the Ravens, so the Steelers need to continue winning more games than the Ravens and try to win the series against the Ravens to try to win this division and qualify to the playoff. And the Bengals and the Browns are eliminated because both teams have a record of below 500, and they don't have anything to compete against these 2 teams. And in the AFC South, the Colts had a bye week. They are still in the division with an 8-2 record. The Jaguars are there in the 2nd place with a 6-4 record. But the problem for the Jaguars is that in this moment the Texans have a record of 500 and they are 1 game below the Jaguars. So this is very interesting. And the Titans are in the bottom. They are one of the worst teams in the league. And the AFC North is something interesting because the Broncos are leading the division, and the AFC with the best record 9-2. They have a winning streak. I thought that they couldn't defeat the top teams, but they have shown that they are a very serious team, and be careful with them. The Chargers that lost against the Jaguars, it was a surprise how bad they played. They are in the 2nd place with a 7-4 record, and the Chiefs in this moment they have a record of 500. They have a back-to-back losses, and in this moment they are out of the playoff. So I think it's gonna to be very rare if the Chiefs don't enter to the playoffs, and the Riders are in the bottom. And in the NFC, in the East Division, the Eagles are leading this division, and the NFC with a 8-2 record. They have a 4-winning streak, and they're going to win this division because the rest of the team are very bad. I think that the Cowboys in this moment have still possibilities to enter to the playoff, because remember that they tied against the Patriots. It looks very difficult, but not impossible. And in the bottom are the Commanders and the Giants. The Commanders have a 6 losing streak, and the Giants have a 5 losing streak. 2 teams are eliminated. And in the North Division, the surprise until this moment is that the Chicago Bears are leading division, 7-3 record, and they have a 3-winning streak. Nobody expected that, but to be honest, I don't think that they are a very good team. And the Packers are in the 2nd place with a 6-3-1 record, and the Packers are in the 3rd place, and the Lions are in the 3rd place with a 6-4 record. Nobody expected that, but in the end, I think that the Packers and the Lions are gonna to enter to a playoff. Between these 2 teams are gonna to win the division, because I don't see how the Chicago Bears can win this division, because I think that the Packers and the Lions have better teams than the Bears. But let's see. And the Vikings are in the bottom; they are eliminated. In the South Division, the Buccaneers they lost his game. They are still in the division, but be careful because the Panthers in this moment they have a 6-5 record. They have a half game below the Bucs, and the Panthers are fighting to win this division against the Bucs. Nobody expected that. The Falcons they are one of the deception of the season, because I expected more about them. They are in the 3rd place, and they are eliminated. And the Saints didn't play, but they are in the bottom. And in the West Division, this is a very interesting division, the best division in the NFL, where the Los Angeles Rams are leading this division with an 8-2 record. They have a 5 winning streak. They defeated the Seahawks in the weekend, and they have the game advantage. In the second place are the Seattle Seahawks with a 7-3 record. This is very interesting. And the third place are the 49ers with a 7-4 record. In the bottom are the Cardinals, where they are eliminated. So, how is the NFL picture, NFL playoff picture in the AFC? The teams that are leading the division are the Broncos, Patriots, Colts, and Steelers, and the wild card teams are the Bills, Chargers, and Jaguars. The teams that are in the hunt in this moment are only the Texans, the Chiefs, and the Ravens, and the rest of the team are eliminated. And in the NFC, the teams that are in their division are the reigning champion team, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Los Angeles Rams, the Chicago Bears, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the wildcard team are the Seattle Seahawks, the Green Bay Packers, and the San Francisco 49ers. In this moment, the teams that are in the hunt to enter the playoffs are the Detroit Lions, the Carolina Panthers, and the Minnesota and the Dallas Cowboys. I think that the rest of the teams are eliminated. So do the Cowboys, and I think that only two teams that are in the hunt 22 playoffs are the Detroit Lions and the Carolina Panthers. So I hope you like this video, and if you have any comment suggestion, you can write me in the social media platform. So see you next video. Gibran.